Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Comic Book Sound by Sea. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are gearing up for a good weekend. This is kind of an impromptu. I kind of announced this, but not really. And there's a lot going on YouTube tonight. Comic Kid 84, D-Runk, Metarog auction. I think, and some more people are selling on that auction tonight. 8 o'clock. I think Discovery Bay's got a community hang stream happening here momentarily. So I wanted to just hop on here and sort of get through this as quickly as I can. And hopefully we can wrap things up pretty quickly if possible. But really what I wanted to do was hop on here and kind of talk about some of the things I did while I was in Los Angeles a couple weeks ago. I had a trip to LA for work reasons, but I was able to sort of sneak in a little bit of comic book hunting and 2 meetups with community members. So I just want to quickly talk about that and show you what I picked up while I was in LA. And I should have done this, after I got back to New York from the LA trip before I went to Chicago for C2E2, but I lost my voice and I wasn't able to actually do any videos during that in-between period. So it was a little hard for me to do this until now. So that's why it's happening so late. And now you know why. So before I get going here, I'm just going to say a quick hello to the folks in the chat. We only got a couple people here so far. CFAP's in the house. Comics for All People #1. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Hope everything's okay. J Hood Creatives in the house. He says that he is driving home. Be careful. Drive safe, my friend. And here's another buddy. What's up, Bait the Snake? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping in. Just doing a quick stream here talking about my trip to LA a couple weeks ago, and going to show sort of the haul from that, which I never got a chance to do because of all the other traveling going on and the con and all that. So kind of circling back to that finally. Daniel Yabara in the house. What's going on, Daniel? Thanks for joining. And I think we were just chatting on Instagram, but I could be mistaken. So, okay, guys. So, big. I wish I could show off the sushi haul. I mean, maybe I could show some pictures from my phone or something, but that'll just make me miss the sushi. You know what I mean? John's Comics with Kids and I did have a pretty baller sushi dinner before I had to head back to New York. And that was fun. That was a good time. I got to sort of treat him to one of my all-time favorite spots for sushi in Beverly Hills. Dave Enrique, what's up? He says, curious to hear what you thought of LA. I'm in the SoCal area. I lived in LA for 10 years, bro. So I'm pretty much an expert. I pretty much know the city in and out, all the different areas, West Side, Valley, East Side, K-Town, downtown. I'm well versed in Los Angeles culture and lore. I spent a good chunk of my life there, so I love it. I miss it. I go back every year, at least once a year, if not twice or 3 times, depending upon what I've got going on work-wise. So definitely would love to do more comic book related stuff there. When I can. I was able to hit up 3 comic shops this time. Oh no, I was able to hit up 4 comic shops this time. So that's pretty cool that I was able to sort of fit that in. Gorilla Todd, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Joey Bag of Sevens in the house. What's going on, Joey Bag of Sevens? BLC, what's up, Patrick? Big Lion Cat. Lots of guys jumping in here. I appreciate all you guys hopping on. So I'm going to get right into it. The first comic shop I was able to fit in on this trip to Los Angeles was this shop called Earth One Comics. Now there's a few of them. I think there's one in Sherman Oaks. There's one in another part of the valley, and then there's one in Northridge. I went to go hit up the one in Northridge because another member of the community, Geeky Lindsay, on Instagram, it was close to where she works, and we were going to figure out meeting up and hanging out, saying what's up. So she suggested that spot. So when we were both sort of done with work, we met up there and hung out for a while, went hunting. I bought her a book on the spot as an AOK off the shelf, a really cool Power Rangers TMNT ratio incentive black and white sketch cover variant that she was into. So I just bought that for her on the spot as an AOK. And then after we were done in the shop was pretty cool, really cool shop. After we were done with the shop, we went over to her car, and she actually had an AOK for me. That she brought to the store ahead of time, so she was going to give me those books the whole time, which is really nice of her. Really great member of our community. If you're not following her, she doesn't have a YouTube. She doesn't do YouTube content anymore, but she's still on Instagram. So her Instagram link is in the description below. Her name's Geeky Lindsay. So super cool. So make sure you guys are following her if you're not aware of her. Very cool person. Very nice person. Dave Enrique's like, haha, so it should be Comic Books Transplant NYC. Yeah, you could argue that. I was born and raised on the East Coast, but I did spend like a decade in Los Angeles before making my way back here about 5 years ago. So, yo, Super Russ 9000, what's going on, Russ? Thanks for stopping in, brother. Good to see you. I don't know if you did your daily upload yet today, but if you have, I'll check it out when I'm done with this. If not, I'll look forward to seeing your daily upload today. Yeah, Lindsay definitely does rock. Russ is friends with Lindsay as well. Really nice person. 1-2 Comic Talk is up. Good to see you. Yeah, you're close to LA in Vegas there. You're just a quick drive. I used to go to Vegas all the time when I lived in LA because I could just drive over in a few hours. Bake the Snake. Saved by the Bell taught us that Valley is bad. Is it true? It's got its pros and its cons. Probably too much. It'll take me too much time to get into that here. It's got its pros and its cons. It's more affordable as far as like living expenses, and you get more space for your money. But it's warmer. It's much warmer. You got to deal with a lot more highway related driving and more of a commute, especially if you work in like on the west side or Hollywood or Beverly Hills. So it's a little bit more of a trek in the Valley. So there's a lot of pros and cons to the Valley. Okay, so his video is going to be up soon. Who else is in here? Comic Don. What is that? The Comic Don. Welcome. All right, so I'm going to stop belaboring the point here. So Geeky Lindsay, we hung out at the comic shop, Earth One, Northridge, great little shop. Awesome painted mural of Wolverine right outside the shop. I posted a picture. I posted that picture and pictures from the inside of the shop to my Instagram. So if you're curious about what all these shops look like, I posted pictures on my Instagram a few weeks ago. But they had this awesome painted mural of the Frank Miller Wolverine #1, miniseries cover right on the outside of the wall, like in front of the shop, which is really cool. Great little shop. Found a couple nuggets in there, nothing crazy. But I'm going to show what the AOK that Lindsay gave me first, and then I'll show you what I picked up from that shop. Thanks, Bake. Yeah, I like sharing the pictures, when I can. Sometimes I wonder if it's a little bit like, I don't know, too oversharing or something, but whatever. I got no shame. 1-2 Comic Talk says he lives in LA County area. Oh, Manhattan Beach. Cool, man. I like Manhattan Beach. Pretty cool area. 36 Chambers, what's going on? My friend H is in the house. If you missed it last night, me and him hopped on here, and I showcased a sketch cover that I bought from him and an original piece of art that he did for me, a pencil piece of Carnage, which is right there in the background, right there by my finger, or my hand, right there. So check that out if you missed it. 36 Chambers, mad talented dude. All right, so now I'm going to stop wasting time. So Geeky Lindsay is a big Scotty Young fan, but she pulled some of the Scotty Youngs from her collection to give to me as an A-OK, including these. This Nighthawk #1 Scotty Young variant. I'd actually never seen this Scotty Young variant before to Nighthawk #1. I don't know if any of you guys have, but pretty interesting. And literally, that was the first time I had ever seen it when she gave it to me. So next one, this one I really like a lot, actually. Yo, what's up, Unruly? Yeah, Bake's seconding my compliments to 36 Chambers on his artwork. Super, super awesome. So Geeky Lindsay hooked me up with an A-OK while we were hanging out. This Nighthawk #1 Scotty Young variant was in there. This Invincible Iron Man #6 Scotty Young variant is in there with Cap and Iron Man and like all dozens of like phones being charged, and then and Cap saying, "Is mine done charging yet?" And then Iron Man's got something that you can't say apparently right there going on. So I thought that was a pretty funny one. Like some of these Scotty Young variants I laugh at, and then other ones I guess I don't connect with. But this one I connect with a lot. It's pretty funny to me. And I didn't have that one on my PC. So thank you, Lindsay, for that. Really cool. And then this Scotty Young variant, this is an X-Men #1 Scotty Young variant. So this is all the female X-Men characters on the treehouse. You got the No Boys sign, No Boys sign over there, No Boys Allowed. And you got some of the male X-Men characters. You got Wolverine right there, just like looking all defeated here. Another pretty funny one, I think, and one I didn't have in my collection. So pretty cool to get that from Lindsay. So she hooked me up with those 3 Scotty Young variants. And then she also hooked me up with this Batman Who Laughs #1. This is the Lucio Perillo variant. So I've made it kind of widely known that I am not a fan of this series as far as a read. The Batman Who Laughs miniseries that Snyder did last year. Didn't really like the story, but I love the covers. The covers were fire. Almost every issue I thought the Jock covers were fire, and then all the variants were fire. Like, some of the best covers. And this is one I didn't have for issue #1. This is the Perillo variant. So I think she probably knew that and then hooked me up with that. So great little 4-book A-OK from Geeky Lindsay. Really cool person to hang out with and talk to. And, she showed me around that shop, One Comics in Northridge. So make sure you guys go check her out if you're not aware of her. Yeah, dude, right? Pretty awesome Perillo right there. I think Unruly's talking about the Scotty Young X-Men book with that comment. But yeah, guys, so definitely really cool of Lindsay. Now, I also picked up a few books for myself while we were at that shop. I found this, Darth Vader #4. This is the Volume 1 Karen Gillan run. Now, this is a 4th printing. So Darth Vader #4 went to a 4th printing, apparently. I didn't even know that when I saw it in the bin. But I had to snag that one. You guys know I love the Star Wars books. I'm not a completionist, but I pick them up when I see them, I guess, especially for cheap. And this was, qualified for cheap. So Darth Vader #4, 4th printing. I dig that for sure. Also grabbed this. This was just a pure cover buy. Uncanny X-Men #508. This is a Greg Land cover. Just something about that cover pops. Obviously, you got the nice looking females on there, and Greg Land. I'm a fan. I'm a Greg Land fan. Let's just say that I enjoy the way he draws the females in particular. So just saw that cover in the bin. Wasn't going to cost me a ton. Obviously, not a key issue or really anything, a book that people are going after or anything like that. Just a cool Greg Land Uncanny X-Men book right there. So I picked that up. Yeah, right. I think he's probably talking about the X-Men not as opposed to the Dark Vader. But yeah, pretty cool pickup there. And then I also picked this one up. This isn't in the greatest shape. I did put it in the Mylar, so it looks a lot better than it actually is. But found this there, Uncanny X-Men 168. So this is the first appearance of Madeline Pryor as an adult, and the first mention of Lockheed. So minor key Uncanny X-Men issue right there. Uncanny X-Men 168. I would say this is probably like a, like a 5.0 or something like that, like a straight mid-grade. Yeah, dude, I love this cover, dude. This is one of my favorites from the Uncanny X-Men run, from that era especially. So happy to find that there for pretty cheap, and grab that. And then the final book that I picked up from One Comics Northridge is this book. Yeah, definitely some Mylar magic to that. Was this? This is Star Wars Tag and Bink We're Here. It's this is from like the outdated, I guess what they're now calling Legends, so no longer canon or anything. But I don't know what Unruly's talking about. You say, oh, is he talking about the Uncanny cover? You look exactly like the girl whom I love that just died. Marry me. But anyway, so I picked this up, Star Wars Tag and Bink We're Here. I picked this up because it was cover price, and they had a signing. So this was, if you flip to the back here, signed by the writer. And then I'm probably not going to take this out and show you, but yeah, so Madeline, there you go, yeah. But this is actually signed and remarked on the interior first page. So for cover price, I couldn't pass that up with the signature and the remark. So I decided to grab that as well. So nice little haul here, nothing crazy. Some A-OK books from Geeky Lindsay, and a couple smaller pickups for my PC. Had a good time visiting that shop, One Comics in Northridge, and hanging out with Geeky Lindsay. So shout out to Lindsay. Maybe she can catch this on the rewind. I didn't really tell anybody or give anybody warning about this stream, so no worries about that. But so that was the first comic shop I was able to hit up. The second comic shop I was able to hit up while I was in town. What's up, Count Von Strange? Good to see you, brother. Great meeting you in Chicago. The second shop I was able to hit while I was in LA was the Neal Adams shop, but I'm gonna circle back to the Neal Adams shop and do that last. But Neal Adams does own a local comic shop in Burbank, California, called Neal Adams Crusty Bunkers Comics, Toys, and Games. One of the longest LCS type names I've ever seen. But a really awesome shop. I'm going to circle back to that at the end and do the Neal Adams shop story at the end. What's up, JP? Good to see you, brother. So I'm going to talk about the second two shops that I got to hit up in LA, Megacity One and Golden Apple Comics, both located, pretty close to each other on Melrose. In the kind of Hollywood area, and I was lucky to be able to go hit up those shops with a buddy of mine in the community, John. From John's Comics with Kids, and everybody knows who John is in our community. One of the best, and we finally had the chance to hang out. So the story is that was the day that John had his first auction on his channel, and I believe that it was quite a lengthy auction. I think it went for over 3 hours, so he must have been tired, honestly. But I was also kind of feeling it because I was developing this cold, and it was towards the end of my trip to LA. I had a really busy week doing work stuff and whatnot. So, so kudos to him, because even after his first ever auction that he hosted on his channel for several hours, he wrapped that up and he drove straight up from Orange County, where he lives, to Los Angeles in a minivan, which was hilarious. He pulls up to my hotel in the minivan and is essentially like my driver. He picks me up, I hop in, and we're just hanging out all of a sudden. We're driving around LA looking for a place to park near Melrose so we can go hit up these two comic shops. And it was just super organic. Like, it was like we were just old friends, you know. I think I was talking to him about, you know, where I was in my sort of budget or hunt towards getting TMNT #1, because I was targeting it at C2E2, and we had that conversation. So we were talking comics, we were talking life. It was fun, man. It was really a great time getting to hang out with John. We were able to hit up two comic shops. We first went to Megacity One, which I had never been to, on Melrose. They had a decent selection of back issues, but I didn't do a ton of sort of long box diving in there, if you will. I kind of was just like scoping out the shop and like hanging out with John and talking to John about books and stories and stuff like that. John picked up some trade paperbacks, I think, from that store. I didn't pick up anything from that store. Usually I feel like I'm like have to pick up at least one thing or whatever, but I didn't force it. So I didn't pick up anything from that store. It was a cool shop though. John got a couple trade paperbacks that he needed for stories that he's following or that he's reading. I don't remember off the top of my head what they were, but it was a pretty cool shop. I wish I had a chance to spend more time in that shop, but I think we purposefully didn't spend as much time in that shop because we knew we'd be spending more time at the second shop. The second shop is a place I had been to previously in LA, and that's Golden Apple Comics on Melrose. Now, Golden Apple Comics is kind of notorious or famous because back in the day when Image was rolling out and whatnot, that was where the signings, you know, the Rob Liefeld signings with like people out the door, where Eazy-E came to the signing or whatever, you know, that story that Rob always tells. So it has a lot of like LA comic book culture, lore or like history associated with it. And it's a fantastic shop. It's every time I'm ever in there, I find myself getting into conversations with people, with the guys that work at the shop about, you know, books that are coming out. What do we think of these reads? What books that they're hunting for their own collections. It's one of those kind of shops where you can not only look for stuff and find stuff and get stuff, but you can also just like hang out and have a good time and sort of nerd out with whoever's in the shop. So both John and I had a great time doing that. We took some pretty funny photos. They had this Spider-Man outside, you know, which usually just set up like Spider-Man, but because of Kobe's passing recently, they put a Kobe jersey on it. So John and I got to pose and take like funny photos next to this like Spider-Man that they had outdoors that was wearing the Kobe jersey, and that was cool. I think you guys probably saw some of that on Instagram and whatnot. But that was a great time getting to hang out with John in that shop. We found some comics. We took a picture with like 6 copies of the first appearance of Jubilee, and we sent that to Alec, you know, White Whale, and he was dying laughing, whatnot. I think you guys may have seen that on social media also. Yo, Bueller, what's going on, man? Good to see you, man. Unruly's like, we all know what Snoop said about E. In this shop, there was a signed comic book long box. So like the whole long box was all signed comic books, and that's where I kind of did the most damage. I also spur of the moment AOK'd a book. I bought a book that John was looking at that he didn't have in his collection that he wanted. And it's a very nice copy of a book, but I can't disclose it because I have a feeling it's going to make an appearance on The Hunt tonight over on Tony Sanders, because John is the current Hunt cover champion, I believe. And I don't know what the theme is this week or whatever, but he might use that, so I don't want to spoil it if he does use it, and, you know, to surprise people with that one and, you know, defend his cover championship. If he doesn't use it, then, you know, then I don't know why we're holding back on what this AOK is for like weeks. But that's neither here nor there. I was happy to hook John up with that book while we were there. It's a pretty cool book. But I did also pick up a couple books for myself while we were in that shop, mostly out of this signed comic book bin. So this is an Image title, Sidekick #1, and this one's signed by J. Michael Straczynski. So yeah, at 1-2 Comic Talk, we're talking about Golden Apple Comics and on Melrose. So I was able to grab that. Image #1 title, J. Michael Straczynski signed book. Also picked this up. Really love how the signature presents on this. This is the High Cost of Living. Death is a miniseries. Neal Gaiman, Chris Bachalo, and you see the gold SIGs right there. Hell yeah, right? I couldn't pass that up. It looked really awesome. Hey, what's up, House Till the End is in the house. Comics with Bueller is talking to JP about his 6 months later video, because I watched that video and we kind of had a little fun with JP. It was a little bit of bad timing, though, because he was dealing with a brutal workday and a long drive back to where he lives from Chicago after C2E2. When you dropped that video and a bunch of the guys sort of hit JP up being like, yo, Bueller's trash talking your 6-month look back, man, that was uncalled for. Like, kind of like jokingly, just to freak him out a little bit, even though, you know, Bueller didn't do that at all. Bueller had only nice things to say about JP and his look back video. So that was kind of like, you know, a badly timed joke on some of the crew's part. Wasn't my idea. Just saying. But anyway, that's I'm sidetracking with that. But yeah, this book is really cool. And I was glad I was able to pick that up. Yeah, right? For sure, man. So had to get that. And then this one, David Mack. So David Mack was actually part of our Chicago C2E2 experience, because Bear Island got a Catwoman, a gorgeous Catwoman commission from him. Yeah, I love that cover too, bro. So this is an independent title from Caliber Comics that David Mack, I believe he wrote it, and he did the interior and he did the covers. But this is issue #3, and he signed that gorgeously right here. I love that cover, so I was able to grab that out of their signed comic book bin and snag it. And I'm glad I did, because I think that presents super well with the Mac, the way he signs right there and in that color. So glad to get that. JP's like, yeah, I was having a very bad day, but Bueller only said nice things. Yes, that is true. So yeah, dude, definitely glad to pick this up when I saw that in the box. This I had never even heard of. But I am a Marv Wolfman fan, but I'd never read this or even heard that he did this. But I guess he did this book on Aftermath called Def X. So this is Aftermath Comics, an indie publisher, and signed by Marv Wolfman right there, #1. So I really have no knowledge of what this series is, but I saw a signed book by Marv Wolfman for cheap in their signed book bin, and I don't know, that's all it took for me. So there's another nice comment from Bueller about JP. I love how this whole video now is just a conversation between Bueller and JP with me hosting. Appreciate it, guys. Get a room. No, just kidding. Anyway, so thank you, 1-2 Comic Talk. So yeah, definitely glad. So yeah, look, I got 4 signed books out of their signed book long box. Didn't really spend a lot of money to get those. They were all really cool pickups. And then this is probably, I guess, the most, expensive book I picked up from Golden Apple on that trip. It wasn't that expensive, but it is in minty shape, to use a phrase from Spidey Fan that I borrowed. And that's Flaming Carrot Comics, #27. And what the significance of this is it's a Todd McFarlane TMNT cover. And you guys know I'm a big TMNT fan. So I believe this is, don't quote me on it, but this might be the only published Todd McFarlane TMNT cover. And this is a crossover that Dark Horse did between the Flaming Carrot line and TMNT. So yeah, right. It's really cool, man. So this is in super nice condition. I saw it up on the wall on the back wall behind their long boxes. Thank you, Bueller. Wait, he's asking me, NYC, are you here? Here where? No, I'm in New York right now. But I was in Los Angeles a few weeks ago. I got a chance to hang out with Geeky Lindsay and John's Comics with Kids. So when I was with John at Golden Apple Comics, we saw this. Yeah, I think anyone who's into Turtles or McFarlane probably wants this book. And I saw it, and it's in really nice shape. So this is a keeper. Okay, he's just joking. So yeah, that was probably the highlight as far as the book I bought for me. I did buy a pretty nice book for John as an AOK while we were there. Maybe he'll show it on the Hunt tonight. So a little preview, little tease for the Hunt over on Tony Sanders. To wrap things up there, as far as the hang with John, we hit up those two comic shops. We both got a bunch of stuff. I got to AOK him, which was awesome. He found some prints for the girls. He found some other books he was missing, like in his X-Men run. So it was a great time. And then we went over and had sushi together at one of my favorite sushi spots in Beverly Hills. And we had an awesome conversation, about all sorts of things, comics, life, everything. So major shout out to John, great person, great guy to hang out with. You guys, it's John, man. John's Comics with Kids, one of the best we have. And I'm super glad I had the opportunity to hang out, spend some time with him, get to know him better on that trip. So the final thing I'm going to go over is I'm going to circle back to the second comic book shop that I visited during the LA trip, which is Neal Adams' shop. So as I said before, Neal Adams owns a local comic shop called Neal Adams Crusty Bunkers Comics, Toys, and Games. It's in Burbank, California. Now, when I went to go visit the shop, he wasn't there. He was in New York. But sometimes sometimes you can find him there at the shop when he's in Los Angeles. They do a lot of signings there. They also had this huge side room for Magic the Gathering and other table games that apparently used to be the former Continuity Studios. Continuity Studios is the name of Neal Adams' studio. Now it's based in New York, but it used to be the home base for Continuity Studios, and then they converted it into this kind of gaming section. One Two Comic Talk says he was at the opening to the shop. Yeah, it's actually relatively recently opened. Day old. No, I don't mess with day old sushi. Don't do that. Don't eat sushi from Death Valley gas stations. You're asking for trouble there, bro. But anyway, really cool shop. Really nice people there. They kind of showed me around. They gave me a tour and everything. They kind of walked me through the different sections. They pulled out all these Neal Adams sketches from the back that they're not selling on his website. So they were apparently, these sketches were exclusive to the store. So I got a chance to look through those. One of Neal Adams' sons was there hanging out. So I got to talk to him and tell him about the published X-Men original art splash page that I have of Neal's from X-Men 59, which is a big one. So he was pretty surprised and I guess maybe impressed that I randomly walked into the store and that I own that. So that was a cool conversation to have with Neal Adams' son. Really great people, really great shop. I did a post on my Instagram if you're curious to see the inside of Neal's shop. Again, it's called Neal Adams Crusty Bunkers Comics, Toys, and Games. Yo, what's up? Biggie Shack's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Chino Comics and Mores. What's going on, guys? Or just Chino if it's just you. Who else is in here? Did I miss some people? Yeah, there's a patio in the back. But anyways, Neal Adams is going to be signing. Oh yeah. Oh cool. Royal Collectibles. Yeah, dude. When is that? Can you share the information in the chat so I can highlight it? Who else is in here? I am losing track of the chat. Apologies, guys. Unruly says one of his all-time favorite comics ever is the Conan Adams drew 36, I think. Cool. Biggie says, I'm on pop-ups. Love you, dudes. Got to go. I don't know what that means, but love you too, dude. Sorry you got to go. Okay, so March 21st. Oh, man, that's cool, man. I'm going to have to check that out. March 21st, Royal Collectibles in Queens. So if anyone wants to go check that out, that is the information. Thank you, Chino. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate the likes and comments if you guys can leave them. All right, so enough about the shop and the overview. It's a great shop. Let's see what I got, right? I didn't really buy any comic books there. I bought the significant thing that I got, I'll show last. Oh, okay, it's the pop-up shop on Disco's channel. Got it. I can't do a show for 5 minutes without JB having a show right on top of me. Damn it. No, I'm just kidding. Well, not kidding. Anyway, so I did get a sketch from Neal, and that's kind of the big thing. And it was on the wall. It's not like he did it in front of me or whatever, but it was pretty cheap, honestly, for a Neal Adams piece of original art that was already framed. So that's the big purchase that I got while I was there. And I'll show that last. But because I bought that, they kind of hooked me up with some freebies. Because I don't think they get customers in every day that are buying original sketches like right there off the bat. You know, I think they're getting, you know, their pull box customers, guys digging through back issues. I don't know. I'm just making assumptions, but I'm assuming people aren't buying original art every day there. So so they threw in some extras for me. I'll show the extras in a second, but I also did pick this up, and this is just a random. This is one of the most random pickups I've ever had, and it's a Star Wars New Hope sort of adaptation from Dark Horse, manga style. So no colors, and you got that whole manga sort of version of Luke and Ben Kenobi and the droids and everything. And this is just part one, I guess, of the adaptation, and it continues onwards. I think it wraps up when Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru are unfortunately toast, to put it lightly. And then the story continues from there. I read it in 20 minutes on the plane ride back to New York. Really cool. Just decided to randomly grab it. I'd never read a manga adaptation of Star Wars A New Hope, so just tickled my curiosity there, and I picked that up. But the freebies that they gave me were these two awesome Neal Adams sketchbooks. So this is the first one, Neal Adams' Savage sketchbook. And I have a feeling my friend Unruly Simeon will appreciate this one, because you've got, like some of the sketches in here are badass. Let me check that out. And he's got these little quotes next to each thing. Like for this one, he said it's originally a T-shirt design. Still works. And then let's see. There's another one. Look at that one. So this was really cool freebie to have just been thrown in to my order because I picked up a sketch. Right? It's really cool, man. Oh yeah, Star Wars. Oh, you guys are talking about the manga. But yeah, Unruly definitely gonna dig this one. I might actually just give this to Unruly if you want, brother. I got an A-OK cooking for you. I won't divulge all the details, but I'm probably gonna throw this in there for you. But yeah, really, really cool. So the sticker price on this was $20. Got it for free. So much appreciated there. This sketchbook came out or was put together in 2005, so it's a 15-year-old sketchbook there. And then they hooked me up with another sketchbook, and this is the one I'm keeping, guys. Neal Adams' Rowdy and Beautiful Women sketchbook. Hell yeah. No worries, unruly. He's like, too kind, sir. But yeah, I ain't letting this one go. Rowdy and Beautiful Women. All right, I'm gonna first sketch right off the bat. Look at that one. Hell yeah. There's some. Oh my god. Look at that. Yeah. Oh wow. There are some fire sketches in here. Yeah, man. Look at that one. Look at that one. I love this thing. So yeah, the stories in here are great. The sketches in here are great. The women are fire. Look at that. Incredible. Yes, it is. Hey, babe. Yeah, right. I'm showing some free Neal Adams sketchbooks that I was hooked up with because I bought art at the Neal Adams store. I haven't shown the real sketch yet, but these sketchbooks are fire, man. They hooked me up with two. This one's more like Conan and Barbarian and Savage Land focused. This one's all badass, beautiful ladies. What's up, Dante? The Scrub's in the house. Good to see you, man. Yeah, Neal Adams. Got these from his shop. So these sketchbooks are like $20 value, $20 sticker price or whatever. But they gave me two of them for free. Oh yeah, look at that one. Hell yeah, look at that. So yeah, I'm I could sit here all day showing you sketches from this thing because it's so cool. But that was really, really cool then. I mean, I really feel like I clicked with everybody in that shop. Like, I think I hung out there for at least 90 minutes. But I did have my eye on one of the sketches on the wall. I kept going back to the wall that it was on. There were several characters sort of with the similar approach sketches. They were all framed. They all had a similar like frame layout, I guess. But the one that I couldn't sort of look away from the most, the one that I wanted, I felt like I couldn't leave the shop without, was this Wonder Woman one. And I absolutely love the way that this is framed. It's got some old school Wonder Woman logos to the top left and the bottom right. And it's a pencil and inked Wonder Woman sketch from Neal Adams. So luckily it survived the plane trip back home in my backpack. And it's going to go up on the wall somewhere in the Comic Books NYC gallery that I got going on here at home. So there it is. There's my third. This is my third Neal Adams original piece of original art. I only have one published page of his. That's the X-Men. And I've got one airbrushed and marker painting of his of a super hot lady riding a dinosaur. I don't think I've shown that anywhere. That one's pretty cool too. But this is my third one. This is a Wonder Woman, and I think he did a real nice job on that particular sketch. So thank you guys. I appreciate that. Very nice, right? Thanks, brother. So yeah, so that's probably my big pickup, I guess, if you want to call it that, big pickup of the Los Angeles trip. But everything else I showed you was pretty cool. Some medium finds, some small finds. It was just a great week. I got to hang out with 2 community members. I got to hit up 4 comic shops. I got to be in the nice LA weather. I got to stay at a really nice hotel. Some of my friends in the community know that I got some nice accommodations. Sorry to hear that, buddy, but it's never too late. What's up, Jay Salsa? Thank you, sir. Bake the Snake says he has a dark side remark. Yeah, I like that remark that you got. I don't know if it's not a game, you know. It's just me being me and kind of, you know, spending way too much money on stuff. So, although this wasn't a lot of money, I'll be honest with you. I was surprised because, especially for something that's already framed and kind of framed with, like, you know, custom accents here with like the Wonder Woman logos and everything like that. This was not a lot of money at all. So, oh, I'm ahead of the game of life, maybe, arguably. But yeah, so this was definitely a major highlight for me. But it was a great trip. It was a great trip. A lot of good times were had on the trip. It was a busy trip for me, work-wise as well, but a fruitful one. And I was happy to actually fit in some of these comic booky things as well while I was there. So I guess the real quick, the recaps are, I mean, like the highlights are this Greg Land X-Men, Uncanny X-Men cover, this 4th print Darth Vader from Volume 1, issue number 4, this Batman Who Laughs Perillo that Geeky Lindsay gave me as part of her AOK. This X-Men #1 Scotty Young, that was also an AOK from Geeky Lindsay. This Invincible Iron Man number 6 Scotty Young, another part of the AOK from Lindsay. This Nighthawk #1 Scotty Young, also part of the AOK. The first Madeline Pryor full-sized adult version 168, Uncanny X-Men 168, and the first Lockheed. This Star Wars Tag and Bink were here. Legends stories, but signed by the writer and remarked by the writer on the interior, which is really cool. Got that for cover price. That was from Earth One in Northridge. This awesome Flaming Carrot Comics 27 Todd McFarlane Ninja Turtles TMNT cover. I'm a TMNT guy and I'm a Todd McFarlane guy, so this checks both boxes, if you will. This signed Bachalo Gaiman Death, High Cost of Living miniseries, 1 of 3, awesome. This J. Michael Straczynski signed book, Sidekick #1 on Image. This beautiful David Mack Kabuki issue #3, signed by David Mack right here. That presents gorgeous, and then I just dropped it. That's why I top load my signed books, guys, because I'm always dropping stuff. Defix #1 on Aftermath Comics, signed by Mark Wolfman. Didn't even know that existed when I found it. And then the sketchbooks, the Star Wars manga stuff, and that original art, Neal Adams Wonder Woman sketch. Bing bang boom. So yeah, that's gonna do it. That's the quick. Well, not so quick. I guess this video is 48 minutes already, but thanks, brother. I appreciate that. So I want to thank you guys for hanging out here. I know there's a lot of other stuff on YouTube that you could watch on a Friday night. So for all you guys who hung out with me, I do appreciate it. I am going to be back on YouTube twice tomorrow. First at 3 o'clock Eastern on Big Will's channel with Big Will, of course, myself, DS Comics, and Whodat. And we're going to be talking about investment comics, investing in sort of bigger books and collecting and sort of the cross section of that. Thank you, Bake. I appreciate that, brother. You know, so share, like I like to share, especially when I'm traveling and stuff, and doing things outside of the norm on my normal day-to-day life, because then it does feel like you have somebody sort of, you know, tagging along for the ride, even though they're not there with you. House to the End says, nice haul. Thank you, appreciate that. Later, Russ. But yeah, what was I saying? So 3 o'clock tomorrow, Big Will Comics channel, comic investment discussion with some heavy hitters. I think we're calling it Money Men, which is a great name. Big Will deserves credit for that one. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern, I will be on Life with Two YouTubers with Sharon, Rena, and Cade, over on their channel, Life of Two YouTubers, talking about big city living, including Los Angeles, New York, Boston. Those are probably the three big cities that I have spent a significant amount of time in my life. So sharing some stories. I'm going to tell some music industry stories too, probably, because I'm not really qualified to talk about much else besides comics and music. So if you're interested in any of that or hearing anything about that part of my life, I'm going to be sharing a little bit over on Life of Two YouTubers tomorrow night. So that'd be 10 o'clock Eastern over there. So are his rates at Crusty Bunker the same as at a con? I don't know his rates for sketch off the top of my head at a con, but this was already framed and it was way cheaper than I expected it to be. So I don't know. So maybe close to, but maybe slightly better rate, because he wasn't sketching there live. He wasn't there when I visited the shop. He was in New York. And, so I could see him in New York also at Continuity Studios there. But I wanted to visit his LCS, which was in Burbank, California, and I was there for work. So that's the story there. What's up, Bruce Moreau? Sorry, you're hopping in here right at the end, and I just did the recap. So thanks, Bake. Yeah, that'll be fun tomorrow night. I loved your episode also when you were on that show, talking about what you do and stuff for a living. So it's always interesting to hear about that kind of stuff from community members. We're always talking about the nerdy things, comics, and collectables and that kind of stuff, and art sometimes, but not really about the other stuff we have going on. So that should be a pretty cool half hour or so. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks again for joining me. I am in Brooklyn, Bruce. I live in Brooklyn, but I work in Manhattan, downtown, Tribeca area. So back and forth between those two boroughs pretty regularly. Anyway, that's going to do it, guys. I'm going to wrap things up. Have a great Friday night and enjoy your weekend. Later.